We're continuing the Shir on Otzros Chaim, Shar Nekudim, Perek Aleph, close to the end. V'nachshel levar pasuk pekachi necha. Now we're going to go back to explain this pasuk. We're going to explain now the pasuk of pekachi necha uresh musenu. We're going to bring it later. Again, we're going to explain it. Ki kasher bo b'chinas ayin shem nekudos. As nemar pekachi necha v'psichu deinim. Now, when the bechina of the ayin comes, which is the nekudos, the or of the einaim of Adam Kadmon come out of Adam Kadmon, then the pasuk is said with opening of the eyes, because the or comes out of the eyes, and this creates the olam hanekudim. V'nei kvanis bar ki kol bechinas ha'elu hem b'shem sag. Now we already explained that all of these bechinos are in the name of sag, meaning that even the ozen chotem peh, and also what comes out of the eyes, the oros that came out of the ozen chotem peh, which is the oros of the ozen chotem, and the peh was akudim, and also the oros of the eyes, which is called nekudim. These are all oros of sag. We said that sag is broken up into four bechinos, which is tamim, nekudas, tagim, and osios, and the tamim also have three divisions. The tamim that are on top of the osios, inside the osios, and on bottom of the osios, and the ones on top came out of the ears. The ones in the middle of the osios came out of the nose, and the ones on the bottom came out of the mouth. So now, after finishing the tamim, we go into the nekudos of sag, and the nekudos of sag are what's going to come out of the eyes. So, in the end of the day, all of these bechinos, ears, nose, mouth, and eyes, are all bechinas of shem sag. Hashem is a romez labina, and this shem, this name of sag, is hinting to bina, shehi gvur ilah, which is gvur ilah, debot hayadinim, which all the dinim, all the judgments and harshnesses are dependent on and come from bina. Lachen, bezua bechina shel sag, hu inyan bittul malachim. Therefore, from this bechina of sag, there's an inyan of bittul malachim, which we're going to see. From that comes also the sitra achra, and all the difficult or bad things come from the shviras malachim, from bittul malachim. Vegam bepratus hasag, yesh bo bechinas hatamim shegam hem nikroim av. Im hiyosam b'shem sag. Omnam akudas shel sag hem nikroyos hasag. Atzmo shehem sag shebasag. Now, even if we take, as we said, if we take the sag, it also has the bechin of tamim, nekudas, tagim, and osios, and those tamim, nekudas, tagim, and osios relate to the av, sag, ma, ben. So the av is like the tamim, sag is like the nekudas, ma is like the tagim, and ben is like the osios. So we said the tamim, which is the av shebasag, came out of the ozen chotem peh, and now the sag shebasag, which is the nekudas of sag, is coming out of the einaim. And the Rav is saying here that also the nekudas of sag, since it's sag shebasag, it's the most important aspect of sag, or most sag part of sag, because sag has four different parts, and the most important or most essential part of sag is actually the sag shebasag, which is the most sag out of all the other bechinos. And there, in Sag Shebasag, the bittul and the misa came about, which is a real expression of the inyan of bina, as we mentioned before, which is from bina come the gvurus, and here, therefore, from Sag, which is the inyan of bina, the gvurus and the misa is going to come and develop from it. And this is the inyan of the pasuk, kulu sag yachtov ne'elochem. Because in the shem sag was all of the bittul. This pasuk, the way he explains it here, is kulo sag yachtov, all of the sag together ne'elochem. He says here, Rotzalam a kulo sag, shu sag shebasag. Kulo sag here is referring to the fact that the oros einaim is sag shebasag. That's what it means. It's totally sag. Yachtov ne'elochu. Azai ne'elochu. Then nishibaru v'nisbatlu. The Kerem Shlomo explains that ne'elochu here means that they broke and they died. So kulo sag, all of the sag, meaning sag shebasag, yachtov ne'alochu, there they died. Ki b'shem sag hayakol bittul, because in the shem sag, that's where the bittul took place, and that's where the creation, as we're going to see, the bittul of the malachim is going to create the beginning of the dinim and the gvurus, the klipas. Sag atzmo mora al zeh shehum miloshon nasogu ocher. And sag itself, the word sag in Hebrew also hints to this inyan, because it comes from the lashon nasogu ocher, we'll turn back or pull back. Shehu bitl malachim, which is inyan of bitl malachim, which is also like pulling back, or maybe it's referring here to the oros that leave and they pull back, and the kelim fall down. It could be what it was referring to. I'm not exactly sure how he's putting this pasuk in Nasogu Achor into this inyan. Vine, ha'in gam ken nikra al shem sag, kmo ozen chotem peh. Now the eye is also called al shem sag, kmo ozen chotem peh kanal, v'uhu be'inyan zeh. Now the eyes are also called the shem sag. We said before that all of the ozen chotem peh is, we showed how each one of them has a hint or a gematria which relates to sag. I don't remember all of them offhand, but remember we went through each one of them, how somehow each one of them, if you added up the gematria, some of them got to very close to sag. Ozen is 50. Ozen is 58. We added a couple. We added, I guess, 5 somehow to get sag. I think we added even more, and then we somehow, I don't remember where that 5 came from somewhere. I don't remember. Chotem is 49, 55. Exactly sag. Chotem is exactly sag, and peh is 85, and that's a couple extra. But I don't remember. I'm saying we already explained it in the beginning. How exactly these came out to sag. We could look it up again. But basically, we showed how each one of them had a gematria of, or related to it directly to the shem sag. And this also, the eyes have a gematria related to shem sag in this way. Kelokasher hayu gimel bechinos hanizkarim ozen chotem peh shehem atamim. Haya shem sag shlam bechinas havaya shel sag. Now we're going to explain how some hagdamas, some introductions before we go into explain this exact inyan. But when there were 3 bechinas, the 3 bechinas of ozen chotem peh, which are tamim, their sag was a bechin of havaya of sag, havaya with a milui of sag, shehem yud ke vav ke, like this, with a milui of alfin in the vav only, and the rest have yuds. That makes up gematria of sag. Yud vav dalad, and then ke yud, and then vav aleph vav, and then ke yud make gematria of sag. From nam ba'ayin shu bechinas nekudos hu sag shel gimel pamim ekya. Now in the eyes, there's a different shame of sag that comes to be revealed in the eyes, and it's not the havaya of sag. It's not the yud ke vav ke with a milui of sag. It's a shame 3 times shame ekya. 3 times shame ekya is also gematria of sag. Shem begematria sag gamken. V'zehu b'china sag asher b'ayin, and this is the b'china of sag that's in the eye. V'nei kol shem ekya me'elu gimel lokeach kol b'china sachof beis osios ha nirmozim b'kamatz patach kenizkar leah k'dei lasos mem kelim ha'idei staklus ayin b'hem. Now all of these 3 ekyas take a bechina of the Chof Beis Osios, take the bechina of the Chof Beis Osios, which is hinted at in the Kamatz and Patach, as mentioned above. We said before the Kamatz and Patach that there are 2 vavs and 1 yud, and 2 vavs and 1 yud make gematria of Chof Beis, meaning that they refer to the fact that there's a Chof Beis Osios. So the Kamatz and Patach are relating to the Osios, which is Kelim. And the eyes, as we said, they are going to pick up these kelim as they pass by through the ozen chotem peh, and they're going to make kelim for themselves. Aidei staklus ayin bahem, through the staklus ayin, when the eye looks down past the ozen chotem peh, the oros of ozen chotem peh picks up these oros and make kelim kelim for the Oros Hainayim. In K, Kol Shem Ekya Mehen Hu Kol Chof Beis Osios. And therefore, each one of the Shem Ekyas, that the three Shem Ekyas that make up the same Shem Sag of the Hainayim, each one of them have Chof Beis Osios. Nimtza ki Gimel Shemos Ekya im Gimel Pamim Chof Beis Osios Gematria Kal Kaminyan Ayin. Now, if you take the three Shemos of Ekya with 3 times Chof Beis Osios, because each one of the Shemos of Ekya took a Chof Beis Osios as it passed through the Ozen Chotem Peh, so that is Gematria of Kal, Kuf Lamed. Chof Beis times 3, 22 times 3 is 66. With Ekya times 3, Ekya is 21, times 3 is 60, how many doing this times? Yeah, times 3 is 63. So 63 times 66 is 120, and we're missing a kolo. We have to add a kolo here. 129. So 121 plus the kolo. Oh, now look at that. I have shinu nuschos. A different nuschos says ima kolo. If you take all these gematrias with the kolo, there's a principle in gematrias that sometimes, if you're making gematria, I don't know exactly the rules for this, but sometimes it's allowed to add an extra number, and it relates to the to the general the culmination of all the different osios, and that number is added into the gematria. So here we have 129. 3 ekyas is 21 times 3, which is 63, plus Chof Beis, as I said, is 66, so it only makes 129. So we have to add a kolo, we have to add an extra 1 to get to 130, Kaminyan Ayin. Now 130 is Gematria Ayin, which is I, and therefore we see now that these 3 Shemos, which is Sag, relate to the I. So we find also in the I, we find in the word Ayin, we can break it down and find the 3 Shemos, the 3 Shemos Ekya, plus the 3 Kelim, and Kol. The three sets of Chof Beis Kelim. Hare, Eich Shem Sag, Romez Gam Ken B'Ayin. Now from here we see how Shem Sag is also hinted to in the eye. Zesod Pekach Einech Alreh. And this is the secret of the pasuk. It says, open up your eyes and see, Ki Be'ozen Chotem Peh, Yesh Gimel Pamim Sag. Now in Ozen Chotem Peh we have 3 times Sag. And they're also, if you take 3 times Sag, it's 120 plus 180 plus a 9, 189. With the Kolel is Gematria Pekach. Yeah, it's Gematria of Pekach, which is 188. 188. With the Kolel is 189. So Pekach with the Kolel is equal to 3 times Sag. So here we see that Pekach is referring to the 3 times Sag, which we have by the Ozen Chotem Peh. And afterwards come the Bechina of the eyes, and this is the exact wording of the pasuk. Pekach Einecha. Pekach is referring to Ozen Chotem Peh, because Pekach is Gematria with the Kolel of 3 times Sag, which is the 3 Sags of the Ozen, of the Chotem and of the Peh. And then Einecha is referring to the Oros Hainayim, which come out afterwards, right afterwards. V'zeh Einecha, ki gimel ekya elu asher b'ainayim kulam hem b'chinas ekya, because all of the 3, all of the 3 ekyas that are in the eyes, they're all b'china of ekya de miluyudim. They're all ekyas with miluyudim. Shem b'gematria kasa kaminyan einayim imakol. They aren't the 3 oros that come out of the eyes, that are b'chin of ekya that make up the sag, don't come out simply as aleph k yud k. They come out with a milu of yud, which is aleph lamed pei, k is k yud, yud is yud vav daled, and then k is k yud again, which is gematria of kuf samach aleph kaminyan einecha imakol, and that is gematria of einecha with the kol. If you add einecha together, again you have with the kol it's 100. Einecha is ayin is 70, plus 2 yuds is 90, plus nun is 140, plus chaf is 160, and kasa is 161. So einecha with the kol is 161. וזהו פיקח einecha רשמו מסנו, כי כאן היה שיממון וביטול המלאכים. And this is the meaning of the pasuk Pekach einecha. We said Pekach is referring to Azimchot Temper. Einecha is referring to the Einayim. And Uresh Momoseno, who that's referring to the bittul of the Malachim. Okay, finished Perak Aleph of Shai Nekudim.